All right. We back. We back. We live on. We doing a little something special today. We live on TikTok as well. So this is Dynasty the Show, episode 19. I am your host, Ira Bush. I really want to thank everybody for you know, just like this is not a one night thing, overnight thing. I always had the drive and the want to speak in a manner of just informing and giving out real information of just helping people get through stuff, just like being a positive reinforcement. So everything you see on camera is not what it is. I'm not like a perfect person in this world, but I also am not a person that lie or cheat to get what I want. If somebody's putting stuff in our way, I just go over it, or I just I take what I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't have all this little societal things that people try to roadblock you. I don't go by what they say or do, because I don't have time to go back and forth with the ignorant people out here. You know, it's so much corruption in the churches, so much corruption in law enforcement. So I don't have to abide by none of those people that think they have authority. That's not even doing their job properly. So that's how I go about things. That's how I look at things. Um, First and foremost, the title of this today is "I Know Bot," and that's just when I say "I Know Bot," it's like a spin on just me calling people robots out here today's age. And I just like to laugh about you know just kind of what I was just speaking on. So that's the title for today. I just want to say I'm thankful for my child, my nieces and nephews. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. My mother, my father. All that. Just what I come from, what I set out and do to fulfill my goals. I got the inspiration from them and my grandmother, then my grandfather. You know how that goes. So yesterday was Memorial Day. um My grandfather is one of the most decorated. My dad's father is one of the most decorated soldiers in U.S. history. I don't care how y'all spin it, how y'all look at it. He don't get talked about enough in just my family circle. Also, he did a lot of sacrificing after he got out of service. Meaning, you have to protect your whole family when you become the man of the family. So you have to do a lot of sacrificing. When you become a serviceman like that, you have to do what they tell you to do and the orders they give you. So to obtain to the stature that you gain. So it's not a big deal, or it might be a big deal to others. I was always had a choice. That's the main thing. I think he wanted us to have a choice to do what we want to do. He didn't want. He probably didn't want us to be like soldiers or anything. I don't think he minded, because he actually know what kind of control they have when you sign up to do those things, and the orders you have to take and the commands, and being disciplined and this and that or this, and not being able to share everything with your family. So that's just how it looks for me. But the story I want to tell is, I always got to go over his house when I was younger. When I got older and I started playing sports, so when you play football and stuff, and you get this, that's a part of being learning discipline. So I got to go over there every 2 or 3 times during the season. Um, we usually have family reunions we do have family reunions every year. And you see them. We go see our great aunts, and go to their house once to how that go. We'll spend time with them. We'll go out other side of Florida and stuff, man. Had a good time doing that when I was younger. The older we got, I got 15, 16. It wasn't as much interaction like that. And I didn't look at it like that. I started coaching right after I graduated. So like I tell you all the time. So, I was like, the older I get, the more I cherish those moments. Now, the one time it was fun because it was like, I probably was like 12, 11, and I was just about to get ready to move to South Florida, probably a year before. and he kind of gathered all us up, all my men cousins, and we had to go clean our great grandmother's yard down in Day City, Florida. And this was like, it was probably, I'll say it was about what, 6-7 of us. We piled up in this SUV, and I'm just giving you a story of like how just saying a lot, but the experience was big. And he was just like, he just one of those things, just about taking care of your yard and making sure you pay attention, kind of like just that experience is just like what he was just telling us what to do. And we used to always go to his house and do his yard as well, just for he fed us whatever we want. We had soda, chips, McDonald's, we ate whatever we want when we was over there. Or he might cook sometimes on the grill. So it was all good and fun when I was younger. So just those types of things, experience. My grandfather is a very nice person, very kind-hearted person when you know him. So, he can't show that, like being, like I said, his ranking as a soldier was very high. And, you can't be too nice to everybody. People like to take advantage, but I'm appreciative of him and just my family from that standpoint. My great aunts, his sisters, his brother, those are some of the greatest people you ever will be around. So just on my dad's side. And same with my grandmother Ernestine, one of the funniest, nicest people you ever meet. And they was married, they had my dad. So, and it was around the time that he was coming in and out of the service, and all that stuff like that. So, but that's it, man. Just had to share that story. Like I said, shout out to all the servicemen. I have people that that were around me that went across the seas and had to serve, taught me a lot, stuff like that. So it's not a big deal. It might be a big deal. I just cherish these lessons these people gave to me. Now, now continue. Now let's come to the fast forward to 2025. There was a lot going on yesterday. All these politicians, like, we got a president that's he I don't know what his end goal of being in the status of the authority he has in the world, but it doesn't look too good for him as far as popularity. And he got his second. I don't know how he got it, but I'm gonna let him tell his story and him boast about him being the president right now. He had a speech out there in Virginia, which is, I ain't gonna talk too much. I just gave my grandfather a shout out, but he went out there. These people are graduating their cadets, and they had a big celebration and stuff. So all this posturing, and you're gonna see. I'm getting right into the political. Matter of fact, before we go to that, the main thing is it's a very big political battle right now. And the thing is that they just signed this bill that they want to pass into legislation. It's a lot of drawback. It's a lot of people that's not gonna stand with this, and it's definitely going to cause, if they put this in legislation and people allow this bill, we will have a real war. We're going to have one of those. It's so much going on in the world and war, and this Ukraine and Russia war. His hand is so far. Remember when Vince Carter put his whole arm into the rim? That's how deep our president is into the Ukraine and Russia war. He played both sides. He got caught playing both sides. He literally is like, I don't know how to explain it. It's embarrassing that you so involved in this war, and we have other issues here in America that you need to tend to. You're, like I said, in May 19th, the Congressional Black Caucus held I won't call it a debate. This was more of a statement, like a announcement, not announcement, but when you come out and you go against something. So they basically put out what the issue is with our president, or the cabinet is trying to erase Black history. And I seen this coming a mile away with the first term, and just Biden being in office and disappearing for a whole 3 years out of the 4 he was there. They want to cover up. I don't know if they're trying to celebrate Ku Klux Klan and white supremacists right now. And I'm trying to figure out if they understood that the history that was given to them as children in the ages from 70 to 80 range, when I won't even, the ages 60 to 80 range, these people are not intelligent enough to understand that the lie they was told was really, it wasn't like that the whole time. You get what I'm saying? It's only been like that for the last 200 or something years. They say they started 400 years ago, almost 500 years ago, but they didn't gain control until, for like the control they have with the Constitution. They didn't have real control until they put these rules in place. They were already battling. They was getting killed by the dozen, by the hundreds and thousands, as well as the same side. They was capturing people. They was still trying to travel the seas and do all this. They didn't, the agreements that they put in place, they never stood on it. These people were thrown when the United States was formed. These people were thrown out of the countries to come here to start over. These were some of the most deceitful, evil people. And then the people from Africa were the ones that were brought here to build, were brought here to be slaves, supposedly. The natives that was already here, the Africans and the natives that was already settled here were killed, were basically, the civilization hadn't been developed as much as it's developed now. So they were tricked out of their spot, and they still had to agree with the natives. The reason why is because they had already been through this cycle of breeding with whites. And it goes, if you really know the history of, definitely in Florida, if you pay attention to how it goes, it's so much you can read about these things. And I don't want to go veer off for what today is. I know people get mad when I start speaking about, real what's going on in the live, in the past that's happening in the live moment, what they want to reenact, whatever this is going on. But this guy, the fraudulent stuff has to really, the fraud and the deceit, I'm not standing with that at all. I don't care what side you think you own, what authority you think you have. I'm not with it. I don't care about it. I'm not. Stumping on that, whatever, putting that out. Ain't none of that going on in this from whenever I get on here and speak to whatever it's gonna be for my children. You get what I'm saying? When they get out here and speak, they gonna speak like I'm talking. We ain't got time for it. That don't mean I'm against anybody that's Caucasian or European, or whatever their background is. But you have to you have to come correct now. You can't come with no halfway ass, want to be, over somebody's spirit, what I'm saying, over somebody's wealth, over somebody's mind. Like, we're not going that route this time. Nobody SLD or ESC over here. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the route we picking this time. So we got to figure that out. You got to come a different way. We ain't tap dancing for nothing. If you tap dancing, if you like me, you look like me, and you want to tap dance, you take your tap dancing ass right over there with the people that done put your ass in the hole already. They done put you in shit. That's how I look at it. I don't want to be a part of it. So, and I'm speaking like this to anybody that think they shit don't stink. For real. So y'all be mindful of these things, like the pettiness and the down talk. I don't got time for it. I don't care if one person listens to it. This is a great message that I'm gonna put out every time I put out and speak. So, hey, it is not the information out there. I'm just breaking it down for you. Now, let's get into it. All right. We talked about appreciating the servicemen, the family, the importance, and the choices. So let's get right. I'm gonna play you a clip for a come play you some clips today of what went on from the black the Congressional Black Caucus and the erasing of history. Um, the panel that was speaking on MSNBC did a great job of talking about the Trump and the Putin. Trump was Putin. Trump basically criticizing and making fun of Putin about him being crazy, him having all these missiles over there, killing all the people in Ukraine, Ukraine doing the same thing. They keep going back and forth. I'm not actually in neither one of those countries, so I do not know if they actually killing people. That could be a propaganda. That could be, it can only be, they could be over there shooting missiles and blowing up dirt just to get money for, a fake death or something. So I don't know what's actually going on over there. There's been so many schemes and scams and frauds between Russia, Ukraine, and the U.S. government. I don't have time to deal with none of them. You see what my skin is? We still trying to find our 40 acres and a mule. These people have done so much to go against me to even care about them, whatever going on over there. I don't want nothing to happen to no children or no females. If you're a soldier and you step out on that field and you over there fighting a dumb war, that's your business. This is 2025. We can't save everybody. And the fact that this man could call Putin and call this president, they shouldn't even be battling. That means they lost all control over they country. So we don't got time for that. We in the United States. My skin say I'm African descendant and native, so I'm either from Mexico or one of these South American countries or Africa. I ain't got time to speak to nobody over there talking about a war. You know what I'm saying? So, my roots over here, and I need to worry about what's going on over here. You need to help each other over here, get everything organized and straightened out before we go over there, put our whole forearm in somebody else's business. And like I said, whoever voted for him, that's what he want to focus on. He want to put his hands in everybody else's business. That ain't the route this time. We can't go that route. That ain't it. And that's as much I can say. I'm letting you know. Now let's play these clips and get over, and we can talk some sports. It's a lot of sports going on. WNBA, NBA playoffs. We had the Streamers University. We're gonna talk about all that stuff, all the good stuff going on, the fun stuff. So we'll talk about that as well. It's just not, you can't go with what's really going on though. So let's play these clips. These clips. Mind you, I might have some no one cares. I heard that. I was taught that at school. Hmm. Okay, that was her first 5 minutes. This is an hour speech and announcement, or just that. Was they call it a special order. But I just enjoy. I'm gonna watch. Let's just say it like this: the stuff that they be saying is like I already kind of know, but you actually need people to agree with what you say and put some validity and validation behind what you saying out here in public. So I love when these young ladies of authority, who was voted in to speak for everybody, voted in to speak for the community in whatever area they're in, whether, I'm in Florida, I'm based out in Florida. Like I said, I got, the more and more I come out and speak and put out, you're gonna find out more about me. So, it's not only the like I'm only in my early 30s, so it's like I have a lot to learn. I'm always open to learn. I'm always open to hear people talk about, what's going on in the world so I can actually find solutions or put a plan out to make things happen and to properly do things in this year of 2025. So we can't go backwards, we got to go forward. So that's a quick clip on what I was saying about the congressional, speaking on just erasing it. This is so much more, because the main problem is like they put the straw man story. Like I was talking about the straw man stories between Putin and Trump and them having this. That was a straw man story because it has nothing to do with the United States of America. Now this, when you want people to forget that there was people getting hung from trees, there was separation, there was inequality, and so many black leaders have gotten killed. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, people getting killed, poisoned, ran off the road. This stuff is happening still to this day. So we have to continue to be mindful that their tricks are only getting a little bit more sophisticated. They're hiding in sheriffs and police officer uniforms. They're still practicing white supremacy and prejudice as judges, as high powered law firms. Go down the list. These things are still happening in the South and all across the United States. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Once you sell out, you sell, and you want to play both sides. You're only putting holes in to people that have not sold out, who are still trying to gain and gather these information and resources to provide for everybody. So that's the main thing that I'm trying to put out, because like I say, one of the funniest things is when we were younger, they spoke to us about I always use this example is discovering America. They say he floated in on the Mayflower, Christopher Columbus discovered America. That was taught to us all the way from age 2 to, when you go to preschool, you'd be like 2 years old. From 2 to like when we got to middle school, from age 2 to 12. And then like, by the time I got to high school, they started talking a little different. Ku Klux Klan members were getting mad because the truth was told. The truth wasn't told, but the truth was being put out. I got to high school and to college. We start learning more the youth start learning, and now they changing it to rediscover. And then when you go into college, you learn American government. They still teaching a lie about how America was all be all, but it's not. It's just small. It's just this small. And if you really look at how education is, a lot of people come to America for education, but they come in now. That goes right into what's going on in Harvard. Now, I'm not saying Harvard was doing everything over there perfect, but it's a private institute. So that means you attacking private institutes like that, you're taking it out. You're taking it personal as a leader of the country. You're taking it personal because there's so many more. Now the community colleges practicing the same thing Harvard been practicing, and it's very rare and it's very well known that it's not just Harvard. It's these community colleges that's getting funded. Third person that I spoke on that I just left a community college and I checked all this slander, all this hate that's going on behind scenes, and this fake religion called Scientology, and all these people in these fake cults that's going on, that's practicing all this witch and spiritual warfare. It's very well known what's going on. So all this stop woke, all this stuff that he done said already in public. There's no such thing as stopping woke. You can't. They plan to steal and to misrepresent the chosen and the most powerful. And I'm not talking about what position and rank they give you in America. I'm just talking about what you have inside you, what you're born with, what your lineage really is, not just in this little box of America. And it's not even you're on attack Canada already, and we in North America together. So it's just all this stuff that goes on. It's like a snowfall going down, and those people that are sold out to the thing that say what it says. Debt note, debt meanings you owe. So whoever we owe, you are obligated to these people that we owe. If you think about the United States of debt note, like I said, these people came, the Europeans, they were either the super, the mass murdering, or the super poor, or these people didn't have a clean face when they came, that started America, the Europeans. And then, like I said, they asked a lot of African and Native people to help give them statue and status. So that's why the United States is what it is now. It was claimed to be a free state when they signed all these agreements, but they found all these loopholes and made all these rules to why it's not, which is why this lady's speaking on erasing Black history. Like, they don't want to know how much we helped in the army, actually helped in the army. Like, both World War I and World War II. So, and then you get to Vietnam, all that corruption that went on. They want to blame people for, going in, basically being crash dummies, because Asia is a huge country. And once you attack multiple times, Asia still want they link back. They still gonna figure out how to get back. Like, they done did something to Japan. They went over there trying to take over China. They done did so much. And I'm speaking this like what they want us to do. We get attacked and we at the bottom. We was at the bottom in the 1960s in the World War I, II, and Vietnam. We wasn't at, we got position and rank, some of us. Like I said, I come from a lucky family, but that don't mean we get treated well in America. That's the complete opposite. I don't care what they say and do. So, that's how it goes. Like, they might put you out here on the platter stool, but behind they just stabbing knives in the back of your back. You know, that's how they work in America. So y'all got to be mindful of this. It's like your mental capacity. You have to be able to overcome these things, and you have to be able to. You got to have the strength to keep going forward, and you can't subjugate yourself to negative and evilness to get where you want to be in life. And that's the main thing. So, you know, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna let y'all hear. I'm gonna let y'all hear. Okay, we talked about Jasmine Crockett's been everywhere, so I'm gonna play her as last. She had made some statement as well, but I'm gonna let y'all hear the what the president had to say when he was coming off the plane yesterday. Most people probably seen it. No, I ain't even gonna play that. I'm gonna let the real people who speak who speaking correct. MSNBC did a great job, so they actually played a little bit of his clip. So we're gonna listen to their little, you know, they played that early. They did it early this morning, so we're gonna listen to what they said, and we're gonna play a few more. We're gonna go into sports. All right, I'm not gonna let you know. It's gonna be some other people speaking. It's basically what I was saying. I'm not close to this situation. I don't have any I won't say that. So I met a lot of people my whole life. So whatever side you on, whatever European side you on, hopefully you get the strength to, your family not over there getting bombed and killed. I don't want to see nobody family get hurt or injured. So definitely want y'all to be mindful of that too. So, we want the best for, whoever's on the right side of history. That's all I can say. Now, we're gonna move on from talking about this. Now, I spoke on these things. Okay, like I said, Jasmine Crockett did a good job. We cannot forget what's the biggest thing that's besides all them straw man stories that I'm talking about. This is the most important thing. And I like the way she came out and was criticizing what he got going on, as well as keeping the focus on the bill, the Trump bill, the agenda. The main agenda where all his cabinet is back there kikiing. Oh, we got him this time. We threw him for the rope a dope. Hopefully we get some people that really have authority in these judges and these people that are representing these states come out here in full force, and we don't allow this to come out here and sabotage the people who are not able to afford food, who can't afford medical, who can't afford, who's worked 30 to 40 years or 20 to 40 years, and they get all their benefits taken away because somebody want to cut ties just so half that money that they're cutting for is for the people who's billionaires, for these dummy businesses. And The way it's crazy how the business works in America because they want people who have real goals and authority. They want to build something up. They want to steal their they want to steal their not even ideas, just their market, their market. They want to steal the people that's interested in you and put them on their side. So when you build up your business, they wanted to go in the red. They don't want it earning correctly and properly. They want to buy your name. They want to do all kind of stuff in America just because they don't want to be seen as behind you. And it doesn't matter how big or small you is. That's just how they go. And it's very important that we're not allowing it this time. We're not allowing it in my generation. Even if the rules are stacked against me, the rules won't be stacked against my child. So that's the main thing I'm speaking out. The more the parents understand that, if they want to keep going down this stupid road of dummies, then we gotta come correct the next time, and we gotta make sure our children are in place to overthrow these dumb people and ignorant people, these white supremacist Ku Klux Klan people. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make sure they are in place. You know, so I'm gonna let you play. She said a lot of great things. I might play the whole thing. I don't want to go. I'm already too political today, probably. But it was Memorial Day. They want that will go over your head. They celebrate it, but they put information that's the truth. You can't lie on no type of day. So it was a lot of truth coming out yesterday. Okay, so basically, I could play the whole thing. With a very great. It was 11 minutes 41 seconds. It's on MSNBC. Happened early this morning. YouTube it, check it out, watch the whole thing. I'm trying to wrap it up because I do want to speak on sports today. A lot of good WNBA games come on this evening, so it's good for basketball today. Now I don't have much to say. I already spoke on it before. I just think she do a good job of just exposing what is obvious. And I know a lot of people, the only way you can really speak is if you are actually in a position like her. So like me speaking, people don't really care about my opinion, but I try to give out good information. I try to lead people to the right information in the right place. And if you ever met me or been around me, you know how politically incorrect I am because I talk how I want to talk when I'm off camera. I think I said a couple profane words, but I don't really have the drive to say profane. I don't talk a lot no more because I don't hang with nobody because a lot of people are stuck either. This how pretty much happened to me when I was the people I wanted to build with, they didn't want to build with me because they feel threatened by my voice of authority. So it doesn't matter how I came at them. At the end, they seen what the goal was. They didn't want to hang with me. They didn't want to sit with me because they feel threatened. And the people that look like me, they like to have fun. So they coming around now. They're gonna start coming around now because they all adults. They all have children. So we all at the same level now. So those people that missed the chance to build with me, that's call themselves in these little high-end society classes that really ain't that smart to me anyway. You never was. You never, you don't have, you dropped the ball, you lost your chance. You tried to go against me without me knowing. So it's not going to work out for you. And I spoke on this when I first started talking. I don't talk about it as much because I'm in full swing of what the message is, So, a lot of that stuff done got canceled. I'm not tap dancing for nobody. Never. It never happened. It never will happen. It always been that way. They put me in situations when I was in elementary where it was all everybody versus me, except my teacher probably. You know what I'm saying? So, and they probably in the long run, she probably was still gonna probably be against me, depending on how they spill it, what I am and who I am. So that's all I can say, man. We're gonna move on from political things. I was gonna go into, the what I wanted to talk about a little bit. I'm not gonna speak on it. I think I covered I covered it enough today. We got tomorrow. We got a big show tomorrow. What I want, just coming back down into local politics. I will be at the town hall meeting out there on Pompano Beach. I got a lot to say. I got a lot to get off my chest. In my 3 minutes, I'm gonna speak. They probably gonna have me on camera. They love. They like to record everything. I don't know if it's gonna be on one of them channel 3 or 4 channels for local, but I'm gonna speak. Get there. The idea of me going to these town hall meetings. I was in college like last semester, not did just pass, not the summer one, but and I went to I pulled up because I was planning on staying out there and coaching and stuff, but then unfortunately, like I said, the government is the government. I'm gonna get back into my zone where I already put stamp, and I ain't got time to go back and forth with jealous coaches in the football world, or I'm gonna try to go to places that really know who I am. So I don't have time for that neither. So we're gonna move on. I gotta go visit some people, my family in different states this summer. It's well needed and it gotta happen. I'm pretty sure there's a family reunion on one or both sides. So we gotta get to doing those things more often. So got a lot going on, family, and like I said, my child stays in Broward, so I will be in Broward tonight at 6. Make sure y'all come out and be supportive of your community, be supportive of your child. Actually get the information because summer, stuff happens. It's always a test. It's like we're living in the Hunger Games without people really understanding this Hunger Games season for the people of authority. They feel like they didn't get what they wanted out of the Trump being president. The white supremacist and authority people are mad because they're supposed to be sharing by now. They don't want to share. We don't figure out all kind of ways of earning and making money. They still attack when we do these things. They still want to put people like me on lists for people not to listen. They want to. I'm gonna put people real. Now, my sister has. I'm gonna use this example. I applied for food stamps. She has 2 children. I have a child, but I don't. I rather for me to be over control, but I'm not. She doesn't stay in my care. She stays with her mother. And the way that Broward system is set up is so corrupt. It's so much energy behind me being a real strong father and her mother being an immigrant. Basically, she doesn't have immigrant status, but she basically is. Her mother probably was. So, and I'm not being picking on immigrants. Immigrants come over here, have way more money than me sometimes. So, what they did when they got over here to get over here, that's not my business. I didn't come at them in a negative, nasty way. I still could call her mom now. So I don't understand her mindset behind attacking me as a father, attacking my family, because she went and jumped in a pot and she didn't know what pot she was jumping in when she attacked me. So when you don't understand that you being from a little island or Haiti or Bahamas or Jamaica, whoever out there in the world, y'all stay from an island. Y'all were brought to those islands because they have slave trade routes set up for you to stay there and get sold off. So you still African descendant. You still I'm a descendant like you a descendant, but my ties is not like your ties. So when you attack me, you won't get good results. Even if you think you winning in that moment, you won't get good results. And the fact that you're so ignorant and dumb to not understand that I'm a help in your whole success. I'm not the person that's gonna harm you. So that's the energy that I gotta put out there in that message while I'm gonna go out here and speak for my child. And the right to come out here and actually be a part of her life is crazy how she goes about treating me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really go into my personal thing, but I am excited about going to these town hall meetings. And I got real rank out here in the world as a coach. So I got people on the ground for real, not no fake talking and fake being a gang member, whatever whatever it might be in her mind that she on. It ain't what I'm above that. I could tell people what to do without telling them what to do. You know what I'm saying? My mind works is big. I don't think this small. I don't come from a I come from Florida and I come from even bigger. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't nothing to me. So let's put that message out there. Think big, think great. That's what my child is on. I already know that. This is why I instilled in her. If you know me, I talk to any player, any person around me like this, so it ain't no pressure. Now, be there 6 o'clock. It's right off Atlantic. We're gonna be out there in Pompano, full force meet today. All right. And remember, June 10th, schoolboy, I got a problem with you. Don't worry about it. We're gonna start the kickoff today. We're kicking it off today. Don't worry about it. We'll be out there June 10th for Policy 1002. So, and that's for the school board. Now, let's go a little bit lighter, a little bit fun. NBA playoffs. Now, last night OKC was able to beat the T-Wolves by a very small margin and take a 3-1 lead. I think I don't think it's gonna go 7 games. I think Timberwolves gonna win 6. Gonna win game 5, and it's gonna go 6 games. I like the OKC to win. They could go in 5. It's a very tough battle. I think Anthony Edwards needs a little bit more help and just a little bit more experience. Like I said, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went through the process of becoming the superstar he's become and won the MVP this year and making first team. So everything's aligning for him. He just got to stay healthy, and then all positivity and wealth and real have that in you to just keep that drive that you got right now. So and then tonight we got the Knicks versus the Pacers. I believe the Pacers are up with 2-1. I think they're up 2-1, 3-1. Pacers have a chance to they're in the driver's seat, they're in the lead. So I think the Pacers have outplayed the Knicks for majority. They should have won last game. That's what it is, 2-1. And they, Karl-Anthony Towns showed up because he got shut out in the first 3 quarters, came down stretching at the end of the third, going into the fourth, 20 plus points, dominated. That's the stuff he need from start to finish, not in the end of the game. Well, it worked out for him in the game, but you can't do that every game. So you want to be consistent throughout the whole game and close on a high note so you have control of your destiny. So, and you are, to me, he's considered the most talented player. But, like I said, it's a team game. The Pacers got Tyrese Halliburton. Falcon won. He won a championship already. These people are very high level players as well, elite players. So we're gonna wait to see. It's been a very interesting and exciting series. So that's pretty much it for them for the NBA playoffs. It's coming this year. I've been watching baseball. I'm gonna check the Rays game out today. The Marlins, I might go to a game next month. I think that showed me. I think around my birthday, I'm probably gonna be in my home area as well. So I might see a Rays game in Tampa too. So I gotta go get my stuff out my locker up there. So, but that's pretty much it. The WNBA tonight, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna try my best to watch. I'm definitely gonna watch. I want to check the Storm and Lynx game out. That's there's 5 games. You got the at 7, you got the Valkyrie versus Liberty, which New York is considered the best team right now in the whole WNBA. They're coming off a championship. They started off hot now. Then you got the Wings versus the Suns at 7 p.m. as well. Then you got the Storm and the Lynx at 8 p.m., which is prime time, which is the game that everybody probably want to see. One team's undefeated, the other team's 3-1. They, the Lynx and the Liberty are considered the 2 best teams in the whole league. Right behind is the Storm. Then you got the Sky versus the Mercury, which is a lot of young players on both teams. Donna Taurasi just retired. You got to see who they got, their whole formula of who's the leader, who's who's over there running things now. And you got the Cardoza and Angel Reese. And, you just got to see what these young teams going to do. Both teams are struggling. The Sky haven't won a game. I want to see them actually come out and win a game. So I'm intrigued by that. And the Dream versus the Sparks. I like the Sparks young core. Somebody got to step up on that Sparks team, and but they got a nice veteran with a young team, so they could actually make the playoffs this year and be a threat. The Sparks, I see them doing that. And the same with Atlanta. They've started off pretty well. They won more games than they lost. They have, Brittany Griner has came back into form after going through her issues. And it's great to see that she's really out here. So, really out here performing well at a high level. And that's pretty much it. Shout out to, and this ending on this. Make sure you go out here and do your Dreams. I love what I saw. I didn't watch from their streaming services, but I did get a lot of clips on TikTok. The Streamers University was this way. It was going so viral. Shout out to Castanet. My time for TikTok is almost over. So, it's not over from my YouTube, but, he did a great job. He's empowering a lot of youth and young adults. He got a strong team. Y'all got to keep going, keep doing y'all thing. I appreciate seeing those things because, like, when we were speaking on this when I was younger, they went out and executed it, and they are making millions of dollars off this, and that's great to see. So, I'm appreciative to seeing those young people and people, right under me because I don't think they that much, young, how that goes. It's generations. So I appreciate them. So that's all we're going to end it today. I don't got too much to say. I try to keep everything under hour. So thank y'all for listening both ways. We're going to end it here. Appreciate y'all.